Hey guys, welcome back to another Call of Duty Zombies storyline video. Today we are going to be covering the gorgeous map, Shangri-la. So sit back, relax, and listen to me tell you about how Richtofen majorly pisses off a major order in the zombie storyline. That's actually what you guys are looking at in this video right here, or this picture, I mean. You see, what is going on here is the temples of this quote-unquote paradise that was supposed to be are being ripped apart, looking for a very specific thing that has landed here that they want back. Now, who are they? Well, we gonna get right into it. Now, what are they looking for? They're looking for a summoning stone. Not the summoning key, if you play Shadows of Evil, the summoning stone. And we gonna get right on into it. Okay guys, so the image that you were seeing on screen right now is from that photo that I just showed you guys a minute ago, and it is actually a logo that comes into play later on in the zombie storyline called the Black Sun logo, or the Black Sun emblem, however you want to say it, and it's worn on the chests of every keeper. Now, we're going to talk later about this Black Sun and what it is, where it came from, why it's so important, but that's not in today's video. Today, we are simply talking about Shangri-la. I just wanted to throw that in there because this is kind of where the keepers come into play, even more than Call of the Dead, and even more than the other areas where they've been kept and tested on, like Kino, where we have managed to capture them and figure out their Vril devices. Now, in Call of the Dead, we managed to get a goldenrod by trading a human that we made from a zombie using a Vril device. It's actually called the VR11, which, if you read it, it looks like Vril. And we turn him back into a zombie, and we trade him for the goldenrod, which is another Vril device. Now, we are not going to use this device until later, and we're going to use it several times throughout the storyline. But in this map, you just simply have it as long as you've completed the Call of the Dead prerequisite to this map. Now, let's talk about how we got here and why this map is so important to the zombie storyline. Now, this is almost as important, if not more important, than Ascension. And we're going to talk about it right now. So, backtrack to a couple episodes to Doris. And if you recall, there was a radio on Doris where Richtofen actually accidentally teleports himself. Now, I'm pretty sure I talked about this in that video, about where he goes. Well, where he ends up going is, fast forward in the future from this map, just a tiny little bit, to the moon. So, he first teleports to the moon, and we'll talk about what he does there in the next episode. But after he teleports to the moon, he teleports to this place, Shangri-la. Now, where is Shangri-la? Shangri-la is in the Austrian Alps, I believe, over in Asia. And it is said that Shangri-la is supposed to be a hidden paradise up in the mountains. And that is what this map was meant to be. It's an actual place in the world, and they made this map based off of that. So this is over in Asia. Now, it's lost in the middle of the jungle. And this is basically what happens. Richtofen teleports here, and the locals see him, and he makes himself seem like a godly creature because he suddenly appears out of nowhere. They have no idea how he's done this, and he makes himself seem wealthy and important and like godlike. And he starts making political agreements and political decisions with the locals. And what happens is they show him this Vril this Vril pyramid that is in their temples. And what he does is he builds a shrine around it in an attempt to try and contact the makers of this pyramid, because it is otherworldly. It is not made by these locals. It has been there for centuries. They don't even know where it comes from. All they know is that it is all-powerful and that they use it to do certain things, like when they need weather, or when they need, when they need good or bad luck, when they need an eclipse for whatever reason. They use it for all these things. It is all-powerful. And so Richtofen ends up taking Group 935 here and building a shrine around it, trying to make it seem ancient. But there are people who come and realize that this is not an ancient facility. No. What ends up happening is there are two explorers. Their names are Brock and Gary. And they are explorers that have gone all around the world looking for anything that has any historical or otherworldly value. And they are very famous for doing this. Now, what ends up happening is they find a piece of Vrilya in France. And we will talk about that much later, actually in the next game. So it's very far in the future. But they find a piece of Vrilya in France. And they want to prove that this is an actual place. They hear about some Vrilya being in Shangri-la, which is over in Asia. So what they do is they get on a plane and they fly over here. Now they start scaling this mountain, looking for the things that they need. They're looking for anything. They're looking for a temple. They're looking for people who can direct them. They're looking for a pyramid. They're looking for something that looks otherworldly. And they find it. They come across Shangri-la. And they make a bunch of statements that say, oh, hey, I was expecting this to be a lot more ancient, but this seems more modern because Richtofen has turned this into a modern place. He has redone it and made it seem modern. So they are already, as soon as they get here, starting to see through what he has done. Now, what ends up happening is while they are here, they end up getting trapped underground. I don't know if you read the beginning of this video, but there is a section at the beginning of this video that says that there's a bunch of underground caverns and traps that are really dangerous. Now, the entire Easter egg is based around getting Brock and Gary out of these traps underground. So the entire time you are helping them get out, and eventually along the way, what ends up happening is Gary dies. So sadly Gary dies, and it's kind of sad, but we'll talk about why it's kind of a good thing in the future, just in a couple minutes. And Brock ends up making it out, and he finds the summoning stone in the temple, the thing that these apothecans and Vril creatures are looking for, and he touches it. What ends up happening is Brock creates an infinite cycle. That area that I just walked through right there's 4 stones on the wall that they would push, and it would activate the Vrilya, and it would set it into eclipse mode. And basically what it was a time traveler. It would always travel them back to the time when there was an eclipse. Well, when Brock had touched the summoning stone, it was during that mode. And then the eclipse ended, and he was forever locked in this cycle. So this is not the first time that Gary and Brock have died in this place. This isn't the first time that they've escaped. This isn't the first time that any of this has happened. We have to try and break the cycle, but you end up not so much doing it, but you do end up slightly doing it. And I know that kind of doesn't make sense, but what happens is, basically, you can't change time. Only time will tell is the name of this achievement, okay, for doing the Easter egg. What ends up happening at the end of the Easter egg is you end up gaining the summoning stone, and Brock and Gary are freed. However, because they've been stuck in this time loop for so long, the 115 and Vril have been affecting them throughout time, and God only knows how long they've been doing this. Well, what ends up happening is they both turn into zombies, but they are the 2 special zombies on the map. Brock is the fire zombie, or the napalm zombie, and Gary is the screecher. Now, I will go ahead and show both of these in a clip right away. So yeah, guys, those are Brock and Gary. Brock is the hothead one, the napalm, as I said, and he's a lot harder to kill. He wants to end everything. Meanwhile, Gary, which is the shrieker, the one that I killed really fast, he's really easy to kill, and he actually doesn't do that much damage to you. What he actually does is he will kill zombies around you while trying to kill you, and he's basically trying to tell you to continue on and trying to help you stop everything, improve everything, because he didn't want to come on this trip in the first place. So anyway, guys, I hope that you guys did enjoy this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.